everyone, this is Marie Blue Angel, and I am back with the demo for Shroudfall Cove. Last time, I think we ended on a big town village meeting where our character got to meet everyone, almost everyone, I believe. Though, out of these illustrations on the characters illustrated on screen, I think we haven't met this person yet here on the bottom left. So maybe we'll see them in the demo. I'm not sure. Pretty sure I've seen everyone else because this is Ophelia. I've forgotten these other names. This is Hiromi. These are the kids. And then I forgot her name as well. But I remember the face, so we're here. Anyways, let me load in and we'll get started. Okay. So I believe we're at a work meeting. Anyways, as you can see here, we're in the green zone, and when it comes to output, but it would be ideal if we could speed up, blah, 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 blah. It's been 3 days since the whole children breaking into house to discover lone human on a monster-infested island incident, and things have been surprisingly quiet. Well, as quiet as they can be when Ade made it a point to drop by every day with some excuse or other about making sure I'm eating well or that I'm keeping up with bills. Not that I'm sure how to pay them here, or even if there are any, as when I asked, she suddenly changed the subject without batting an eye. So I guess maybe you don't have as many bills. Also, it's only been 3 days. Which in turn made me wonder if Ade just made that up as an excuse to come and visit me. I mean, that's still very nice for her to check in on you. She sometimes brought a snack or two, for which I was grateful, given that besides that first evening, when I first made a quick trip into the village to buy some groceries, I haven't really stepped foot outside. It wasn't due to fear. At least, I don't think so. That seems to have evaporated to a certain degree back during that night at the pub. There are still moments at night before I fall asleep when I wonder if maybe this strange sense of serenity will be shattered by another break-in, and what exactly I will do if that does happen. Surely, I've been thinking a lot about packing up and leaving these past days. Or sure, rather. And I mean a lot. Mostly in between fixing up the house a little bit and going outside to water the lua primroses once in a while. Work has also been in my mind, I guess. But honestly, my heart hasn't been quite into it as much ever since I found out magic and night folk exist. I mean, that is, it's kind of hard to go back into your usual routine, I would think, and, worry about whatever job quotas are happening in this, I'm assuming a corporate job situation is going on. I too would need more than 3 days to, process all that. So I get it. It's hard to worry about profit margins and spreadsheets when you know werewolves and snake people and who knows who else are roaming around. Still, I have to make an effort, otherwise I've got no money to survive. Very true. Capitalistic society, unfortunately. At least, that's what I tell myself as I struggle to keep my eyes open during yet another meeting where we're having to discuss whatever. I'm not even sure what we're supposed to discuss at this point. There's no rule about keeping the camera on at all times, so I take advantage of it to sit in my tank top and shorts around the house. The summer heat is not as bad here, thanks to all the trees creating some sort of shade, but I'm still sweating out of every pore of my body, even while staying still. Ooh, I hate days like that. That's so hard, because, what are you supposed to do? Why didn't I bring... Well, I think a fan would have been, hard to bring. Honestly, I just take a shower after the meeting. An old hand fan that I found laying around in the top drawer of the writing desk is my only defense against the boiling heat and humidity, and I'm glad that nobody has to see my desperate and miserable expression. Mostly because I'm the only one making such a face. Everyone else is looking up and alert, nodding along or just calmly listening, dressed in our nice shirts and blazers. I'm not the only one working from home, I know that for sure, but I think I'm the only one who doesn't seem that taken with the whole office look at home. Yeah, that's true. I don't know. I want a little bit of a, creativity, a little creative aspect to my background. I think most people do, but like, people end up finding spaces, like making office spaces or whatever, or even just Zoom spaces to like have a nice little more professional looking background sometimes. Not that I am in general, to be honest. I find the company uniform we have to wear grotesquely tacky and antiquated. Women have to wear heels, A-line skirts only, and makeup at all times. While men can get away with jeans if they're dark enough to pass for trousers. Ooh, that's no fun. We hate that. But they also have to wear a tie because that makes it fair, I guess. While I understand the whole idea is meant to sow camaraderie amongst amongst employers, I can't help but notice just how it also manages to crush any sort of individuality in the process, which sucks. Sure, senior members seem to get away with more stuff, like Anna, who's been with the company for 15 years already and has recently taken up wearing handmade earrings she finds at flea markets. Okay, go Anna. I know this because she never forgets to mention it when I compliment her jewelry. I mean, honestly, I would do the same if someone compliments me. I'm like, where did I get it? Today she's wearing the watermelon pair. Ooh, cute. She's not a particularly bold dresser, preferring toned down colors such as tan or gray, but those earrings are definitely helping her outfit look less depressing than usual. She could branch out a bit. I mean, if she wants. I feel like she's already being as bold as I'm not saying she's being as bold as she could ever be, but I think it takes a lot to also do that. But I guess you could branch out a bit. I don't know. Both of these options seem similar in some senses. It's a good start, but I really think she could take it to the next level with a more elaborate collar, or even by switching that plain white shirt for a turtleneck at least. Not that I've told her any of this, since it's really not my place. That's how things usually work in our team. Our boss says that we are like family and are there for each other, but if you so much as voice an opinion that makes you sound like anything but a normal adult, you're suddenly the team weirdo who needs to shut up. That includes pretty much any topic that isn't hiking or golf. Ew. I mean, no offense to those who do hiking and golf, but I don't want to always talk about hiking and golf. I'm more likely to participate in the former rather than the latter. Though these are not activities I partake in. I don't think I've ever golfed except for mini golf. I haven't even done top golf, which is very popular here in the US. Nor do I really ever want to. So we can't have any other hobbies. Like, people aren't allowed to say, oh yeah, I don't know, I went to the beach, I did something. I don't know. Those are the two things. Corporate world, as portrayed here, is very boring. And probably in general, in most cases. And it definitely means having opinions on fashion is entirely off limits. Margaret, our senior team analyst, did not like me telling her that her diamond earrings aren't my thing, despite her trying very hard to make me feel jealous over the pair she always wears. Well deserved, honestly, to say that to Margaret. It's like, I'm trying to make you jealous, And what did you expect? Even now, when working from home, she made sure to put them in so we wouldn't forget she had them. In any case, Blue, you can take over now. Shit, I wasn't paying attention at all. I wasn't either. Just a moment, please. I fumble around with the share screen option until my desktop is finally on view to everybody. Although I'm not sure what exactly I'm supposed to be showing them, I try my best to seem in control of the situation. It's basically the same thing every single week. Open the document, give out some random data, talk about how we're making great progress, then crack a joke and hand it over to the next person. Rinse, repeat, ad infinitum. Honestly, after so many years in the company, this has become like second nature to me. My boss nods along with every point I make, but I'm pretty sure he's not listening to a thing. After the meeting, he'll more than likely send me a message asking me to write down everything I am explaining right now in excruciating detail so he can have a written account of it. I suspect he'll be using it as a draft for his speech to the higher-ups, but I have no way of proving that at all. Luckily, 10 minutes later, I'm finally done explaining how my tasks are progressing, and I can hand it off to the next person on the roster. which happens to be Margaret. Great. This is going to take 3 more hours. Ew, why are we sitting in a long meeting? This is not productive in my mind. Isn't corporate world supposed to be very like, yes, productive, yes, efficiency, yes. What are we gonna do in a very long meeting? That does not sound like any of those things. Beep. What the? My phone starts vibrating out of nowhere just as I mute myself, and since it's Margaret's turn, I tried to quickly check my messages. There are several of them, and all from a number I don't recognize. Hey, this might be Ade. Hey, hi. I'm on my way to your place with a bunch of stuff. Beep. It's so cool. You're gonna love it. Another beep. I'm thinking we could start the party at 9 p.m. so that it's not that early, but late enough that everybody's awake. Oh, are you having to hold the party at your place? The welcome party? By the way, do you have plastic cups and stuff? I bought a lot of them just in case. My goodness. Oh, also, hi. It's me, Ade. Smiley face. Of course. I'm actually surprised she sent a message instead of turning up out of the blue like she usually does. As I quickly save her number, I start to rack my brain and figure out what she means. What party is she talking about? I'm not holding one, and I hope Ade isn't planning to hold one in my house either. It seems like it. The place is still a mess and absolutely not ready for yes. Honestly, I better just turn her down and tell her I'm busy. Oh shit. The welcome party she mentioned before. She better not mean that it's about to happen tonight. Knock knock, delivery for Blue. Please come sign. Oh, why do I even bother? Checking to see if Margaret's still talking, and luckily she is. I almost ran into the wall while rushing over to the entrance. I get there just in time to hear Ade knock again. She really did come over to start prepping for a party. Unbelievable. I don't have time for this. All right, no, I have to focus here. I'm on the clock for the next 2 hours and still have... 3 meetings to get through. That's a lot. So party prepping is out of the question. Actually, the party as a whole is out of the question. Yeah, I better just turn Ade away now and run over to my laptop in hopes nobody decided to ask me a question or something. Just as I make my way over, I hear Ade knocking for a 3rd time. I'm genuinely surprised she's not coming in as usual by now, but I guess she might need some help with the boxes or something. Ade, listen, I can't be doing this, right? Ooh. Oh, cute. Oh, the snakies. I freeze just as soon as I open the door, mouth open and eyes probably bulging out of their sockets, like in those old school cartoons. I guess you haven't seen we haven't seen Ade like this, because she usually has her snakes wrapped up. Even as a kid, I used to think they were ridiculous, but now I kind of understand why they would have that reaction. It's really the only one that works in certain situations. Like this one, for example. Blue, finally! I thought you were asleep or something and I'd have to break this door down. I don't think she was kidding. Well, I wouldn't have obviously, but you catch my drift, eh? Ade, except that this is not Ade unless she has always had a head full of snakes and I just never noticed. But I should have, shouldn't I? Somehow, even though Ade has mentioned at several points that they're still night folk, it still hasn't clicked for me just yet that they might manifest these kinds of features too. I only seem to imagine them as human so far. Even now, it's hard to envision the Ade standing before me as the same one as the one from the day before. Although they had the exact same voice and even laughs the same way Ade does as she shoulders her way into the house with an armful of boxes. I say they, mostly because there's something I'm picking up on, but can't quite understand. Is this not Ade? Like, question mark? Or do you just mean, like, our character's not able to reconcile that this is the Ade that we know? It's just fine. They look the same way Ade does, but each step is punctuated by a sudden shift, a change, which my eyes register, but not my brain. Somehow, they're undergoing a metamorphosis right before me, switching between features almost imperceptibly. What the hell? What's going on? Oh, I brought some stuff from Petra's and Hiroki, donated some of his I think I said Hiromi earlier, the title screen. So sorry. Petras and Hiroki donated some of his memorabilia too. Look, isn't this cute? They say as I watch them pull out a cat ear band from the box. I have no idea what exactly they're for, but they're adorable, aren't they? Maybe I'm so tired that I'm hallucinating. I saw Ade yesterday. Wait, actually, it was a day before that. Yesterday she didn't come over for some reason, which I thought was weird but didn't worry about it too much, though I realize now that maybe I should have. No, they must be a relative. Was she replaced by a double? No, this is Ade. Okay. I guess the second one? It's Ade, though. I don't think it is. Please don't tell me this is a body snatching scenario. I get that I'm stuck right now in a fantasy world of sorts, but that would be too much. Or maybe it's some sort of magical thing I don't understand. What's wrong, Blue? Cat got your tongue? Alright, so maybe this is Ade after all. Somehow. Are you Ade? What? Blue, I was gone for a day and you already don't recognize me. That's seriously hurtful. They make a show wiping away non-existent tears while giving me the best puppy dog eyes they can muster, but I'm honestly not really paying too much attention to those. I'm busy trying to work out what exactly happened in one day for Ade to change like this. I mean, what do you... No. I mean, I'm not that confused, but like, I guess we'll figure this out together. Maybe I'm missing something. Well, they're still jaw-droppingly gorgeous in every sense of the word, so I guess it's not as much of a shock. It's simply me being human once again and completely oblivious to the going-ons of this place, as nobody bothers to explain them to me. I don't speak, waiting instead for them to figure out that I'm being serious, which they do rather quickly. Oh wait, you're not just pulling my leg, are you? You seriously can't tell it's me. Would I have asked if I was sure? You have a point there. I guess you humans don't really shed your skin, do you? No, that's not a thing we do. We absolutely do not. That's so strange. Then when do your children grow? They just keep growing. It's almost comical, the way their eyes go wide. I thought that was the case, but it's still so disappointing. I really must have shattered their worldview of humans with this revelation, I guess. Well, better late than never. Although in this case, I doubt this kind of information would have come in handy at any point, really. It's more of a fun fact about humanity. Still, Ade seems to absorb it with the same level of solemnity as if I was explaining to them the rules of physics or mathematics. Does that mean that when you grow... Oh, yeah. When we grow, we tend to shed our skin just like our cute snakes. It's like starting over in a way, and we can choose how we do it too. Oh, that's interesting. Most of us like to experiment with a few forms throughout our lives, try to find whatever makes us feel most comfortable. Do you change at will? Not quite. It's tied to how much my body changes each month. Otherwise, the shedding doesn't get triggered. So it's more like twice in a month or so. But I got a little trick up my sleeve to make it go faster. They point to the golden band around one of the many snakes adorning their head. Okay, there's a couple of them right there. This cute thing lets me switch things up whenever I want. Ooh, pretty cool, right? Oh, but this month I also let my nails grow a bit more than usual. Look, aren't they adorable? They show me the emerald green nails painted as if to resemble scales, and I have to admit, they are really cute, I will say. I do love the nails. I mean, Ade looks great in general, but I also noticed the nails earlier. Oh, look at us. We're standing around chatting when we should be preparing for the party. And suddenly, I remember why exactly we're in my living room instead of upstairs in front of my laptop at the meeting I'm supposed to be attending. Shit, I hope they didn't ask me anything while I was gone. All right, you take this side of the room and I take this one. Sorry, Ade, but now is... Huh? What do you mean? I have a meeting going on right now and a few more after. Before even I finish my sentence, I can see that it all goes in one ear and out the other. Ade has no clue what I'm talking about, or maybe they don't understand why that is important. Truth be told, I've barely seen any technology around the village ever since I came here, so I'm not sure if trying to explain what an online meeting is even worth it. Does anyone in this village even know what the internet is? There's no modem within the house, so probably not. Luckily, I had the good sense to bring with me an USB Wi-Fi adapter, but I really should look into having a modem set up too. Except that it might not be possible now that I think about it. I basically have to talk with some people at work and... Oh, that's all? Addie's sunny disposition is blinding as usual. I have to look away when they flash me the brightest smile known to man while saying the most baffling of things. Just tell them you're busy right now and you will call them later. I really can't do that. Although I really wish I could. Honestly, I wish I could never have to call them again, but then who will pay me money to move around data on a sheet until I finally get to retire? Do you want me to talk to them for you? I don't know. No, the only thing worse than having your mom offer to talk to your boss might be having the mayor offer to do that instead. Are you sure? Because I can be very persuasive. You could even say hypnotic. Ooh, okay. Oh, I mean, maybe we should so we can get out of these meetings. I have no idea what they mean by that, and I don't get to question it because in the exact next moment, there's a knock on my door. Actually, knock might be an understatement. It sounds more like they're trying to force the whole thing off its hinges. Who's this? Eddie, I'm here to help with setting up the party. I don't know. It's another one. Great. In all this ruckus, I completely forgot that in order to have a welcome party, you need more than just 2 people to celebrate it. Oh, that must be Hiroki. Finally. I need to ask him what I'm supposed to do with these cat ears. Maybe find a cat to reattach them to? Don't go looking for any cats now. And put down those things. Nobody's wearing them tonight. They pout, finally setting them aside. Instead, they dive into the box of party goods they brought along, but I can't wait around to see what's in it because the pounding at the door is getting louder and heavier. I'm coming, just wait a... Oh, hello, Hiroki. Oh, it's Hiroki, the school teacher. Hello, you have your little apple on your jacket collar. How cool. He's dressed in the same way as he was the night at the pub, leather jacket, pins, and feathers growing out from all over his face and neck. And I assume the rest of his body, that makes me sound like a bit of a creep, so I try not to go there. I mean, but we can obviously see his hands. He most likely did not expect to see me at the door, even though this is my house, because he immediately does a double take and quickly adjusts his posture. Greetings, I am Hiroki, Shroudfall Cove's teacher. I hope that you are enjoying your stay here and will forge many happy memories. Wow, this sure is a switch up from 4 days ago. There's no way he sounded this polite and formal back then. Or is my memory already going down the drain? I actually don't remember, but also, was he talking? I can't remember, actually. So, who knows? Thank you. He beams at me, almost as bright as Ade, before settling back into the same polite, detached expression from before. We immediately settle into a decidedly uncomfortable silence, which neither of us seem too keen to break. Me, because I have no idea how to respond to him, and him, I assume, because he's too busy trying to sneak glances inside the house. Do I invite him in? He did say that he was here to help Ade prep. Wait, I don't even want to have the party tonight anyway. And shit, I've been away from my laptop for a while now. Honestly, I'm hoping the meeting is just like, okay, bye everyone. Talk to you next week. Ade, no party. I still have work to do, so I won't be able to come.
Don't worry, Hiroki and I will take care of everything, so all you have to do is show up later.
I don't know what I hope to accomplish, but this is pretty much what I expected. Unfortunately, I don't have time to sit and argue with Ade over this, so I just shoot them one last exasperated look before rushing upstairs to rejoin the meeting and act like I never left in the first place. It's a few hours later when I'm finally done with work for the day. Luckily, nobody noticed my absence earlier, from what I could tell. By the time I got back, Margaret was still talking, although the subject has switched to everyone's golf scores and where exactly we should hold this year's team building session. Please don't make it a golf thing. It was, of course, meant to be in various hiking spots across the country. Do I mind hiking? I don't personally mind hiking, but I think, it's just we just can do one activity. I don't want to do it again, personally. I don't get what everybody's obsession with hiking is about. If I'm off the clock, I have no interest in spending my free time sweating like crazy and making small talk with strangers. During the next 2 meetings, I have to admit my attention kept wandering, most likely due to the fact that I could hear Ade and Hiroki moving about downstairs as they were setting up. It took them longer than I expected because every 10 minutes or so I could hear Ade asking Hiroki to stop poking around everywhere and focus on the task at hand. So he was looking for an opportunity to snoop around. Well, good luck to him. Besides whatever Grammy left behind, there's not much of interest here to gawk at. Maybe the grandfather clock, but even that one's kind of plain. There were other kinds of noises coming from down there as well. Grunting, loud instructions, someone dropping a box or two while moving them, which I suspect was Hiroki, given a male voice suddenly let out the most unholy string of swears I have ever heard. So that's how teachers sound when there are no students around. Honestly, I love that note, but I'm like, yeah, there are also people, or night folk in this case, but other normal, regular beings. I love that. My goodness. Then when things seemed to have finally calmed down and no more noises came from downstairs, it started up again. Except that this time it wasn't furniture moving around, but rather new voices I could hear. The party guests, I assume, who I have no idea who they might be or even want them here all that much right now. Honestly, I'd be so tired from work at this point. I could make a quick appearance, just go. Ade is probably going to try to make you go anyways. Probably not. I'm pretty sure Ade will insist I stay. Also, it's my house, so having to hide from people who I didn't invite sounds more than weird. And a bit pathetic. Still, I have to come out and deal with it anyways. These guys are my neighbors at the end of the day, and also potentially terrifying creatures. But I suppose it wouldn't be a bad idea to get them on my good side. Until I figure out what I really want to do, at least. Oh, cute. This looks so nice. I like the decor. I'm also trying to see if I can hear... Okay, I can hear more of the music. Okay. It was kind of quiet for a little bit. It's lively. Really lively, in fact. Peeking my head into the room, I see that Ade and Hiroki have done a surprisingly good job with the decorations. They're interesting, for lack of a better word, but overall pretty festive. I could say the same about the guests too, the few of them who showed up at least. I already figured out that I'm not the most popular person in the village right now, but I didn't expect it to mean only 3 people besides Ade and Hiroki would show up. Not to mention that it's the most unexpected trio too. Oh, not Ophelia, it's Ottilia. Ottilia, the doctor, and the tall woman with bovine features. They all pretty much look the same as they did during the village meeting. Night folk features and everything. Well, at least the woman, Hiroki, and Ade. They do seriously stand out. As of hearing that I've been thinking of them, Ade immediately turns around, dropping the conversation they've been having with Dion to wave me over instead. Blue, you finally came downstairs. I was wondering just how much longer you were planning on staying in your room. Well, I just finished my work, so... Oh, why didn't you tell them you had something else to do? That's not how it works, Ade. Do you work upstairs, Blue? Okay, you're the doctor, okay, Dion, who seemed to have been content to merely observe, suddenly speaks up, and I can't help but be startled by it. He has a beautiful voice.
I hadn't really noticed it back at the pub, but now that we're talking face to face, it's impossible to ignore just how captivating it is. And weirdly seductive. Although I try not to focus on that too much, since we've only just met and it would be impossibly inappropriate to comment on it. I mean, fair. You know, fun thoughts. Okay.
Instead, I try my best to answer him. Yeah. Well, I technically work from my laptop. A laptop? Shock face. What's that? And just like that, I learn a new thing about this village and the night folk. Apparently, they don't know what laptops are. It's a human torture device. It's a human invention. We basically use it for, well, just about everything. Is that so? How fascinating. Can I take a look at it?
Dion, you've seen a laptop before. Remember, at the town hall, we have one as well.
I see. So that's what that strange device was. I'll be sure to investigate it further next time I happen to pay you a visit, Ade.
I watch as Dion pulls out a little notebook from his pocket and, without sparing me or Ade a single glance, walks over to the couch where Tilia and the other woman are sitting to write something down. To say I'm baffled would be an understatement. Looking at Ade for help, I'm met with a blinding smile.
Dion is collecting information on humans. Isn't that amazing?
He's really made the most headway out of all of us, despite only getting here 6 months ago. So, that little notebook he's writing in. It contains all his precious data. Unfortunately, nobody is allowed to look at it until it's finished. They sigh wistfully before turning to me and grasping my hands tightly. Their touch is warm like the sun, but even as they try to be gentle, I can feel an undercurrent of power residing there. Even the snakes on their heads seem to be making an effort to appear as docile as possible. But enough about that. Tonight is all about having fun and convincing you that staying in Shroudfall Cove is a great idea.
I'm not sure how fun I am right now.
Nonsense. You're always plenty of fun. You just have to give things a chance, that's all. Giving my hands a light squeeze, Ade gives me another $1 million smile. Even the soft hissing snakes don't detract from how effortlessly beautiful they are. But seriously, please give living here a chance. I'm sure you'll find something irreplaceable here. And I want tonight to be a taste of that. So, make sure to have fun. Hiroki and I set up a whole lot of stuff to do. Games, snacks, and awesome music. Oh, wait, speaking of music. With that, they glide over to the little old-fashioned radio I just now noticed sitting on the hallway dresser and turn it on. They're playing an old pop song on it, something I haven't heard in a long time, and just as naturally as if they would be in a ballroom, Ade starts swaying to the tune. Nobody else seems to comment on it, staying in their respective spots, or rather just Atilia and the other woman. Dion has disappeared off somewhere, much like Hiroki. Maybe I should. I don't know. We're gonna save just in case I can't do all these things. Guess we'll dance with Ade. Screw it. If I'm supposed to be having fun tonight, might as well just do that. Although it's slightly awkward since we're the only two on the dance floor, I make my way over to Ade, who smiles brightly when they spot me. They motion for me to come closer, then place one hand on my waist while grabbing my hand. Blue, I'm so glad you came here. I was worried I would have no partner. Do you know how to dance?
Sure.
Perfect. A jazz song just came on, and I'm in the mood for some swing.
I don't actually know how to dance, but you know, in these scenarios, might as well have some fun.
Once the song fades away, the music suddenly picks up. It's something old again, but with a lot of rhythm, and Ade seems to love it. They move with the grace of a gazelle, feet almost never seeming to touch the ground at all. I try to keep up with the moves, but I'm absolutely spellbound by the way their body moves so effortlessly. Luckily, Ade doesn't seem to mind my clumsy mistakes, laughing instead whenever I take a wrong turn and we bump into each other. Had I been anywhere else, I might have found this haphazard way of dancing embarrassing, but Ade just has a way of making it feel fun and lighthearted. You are a really good dancer, you know.
Oh, we should always flirt. You really make it... I don't know how to say this.
You really make it fun.
God. Do I actually know how to flirt? Not really. Okay.
You think so? You think so. I'm glad to hear that. It's music to my ears. Blush, blush, blush. I groan, but Ade merely laughs and spins me around again. I can't remember the last time I had this much fun dancing, but being with Ade is like walking on cloud 9 all the time. There's something magnetic about their joy I can't put my finger on. When they spin me around, I let their hands guide me in the perfect position. Eventually, once the song comes to an end, we slow down so I can catch my breath. For their part, Ade does not seem fazed at all by the physical effort we just made, simply choosing to turn around and fiddle with the radio stations in search of something else to dance to. I, however, definitely need a break.
Oh, so we'll see Attilia and then go see Dion.
Surprisingly enough, Ottilia is here tonight as well. Although she showed a certain degree of understanding towards Ade at the end of the meeting, it didn't strike me that she had been completely placated quite yet. Maybe her presence at the cottage is an olive branch she's offering to Ade and I. I guess it wouldn't be a bad idea, then, to at least greet her and her companion. As I come closer to the couch, I notice that they've dragged the coffee table closer to them and are hunched over it quite attentively. At least the taller woman is, while Ottilia sits straight as an arrow and still as a statue, moving only now and then. They're playing a game, I realize once I'm close enough to spot the pieces, and close enough for Ottilia to notice me. My, so you have finally graced us with your presence.
Oh yeah, we haven't seen you yet. The tall woman.
The tall woman next to her flinches at my sudden arrival, although Ottilia doesn't even spare me a glance. Instead, she reaches over to pluck a handful of shiny stones from a small hole and starts distributing them evenly across the other 11. I think I've seen this game before. Have you ever played Mancala?
Yes.
Splendid. Then why not show me your skills, Gesturing towards the armchair that Ade and Hiroke have randomly left in the middle of the room, she instructs me to sit. One tires of having the same opponents every time. Sure, I guess. Truth is, I haven't played in a while, and it was mostly against my mom, which isn't to say I'm bad at it. In fact, I would rather say I've got a bit of talent for the game. But the woman is simply a monster when it comes to Mancala. I have no idea where she learned it, but it might have been from the original creator themselves for all I know. That's how good she is. You may go first if you so desire, Blue. Huh. She must be quite confident in her skills if she's allowing me to take control of the board like that. Still, I'm not going to say no to getting the upper hand here. So I go for a classical opening to see how she reacts. Playing it safe, I see. Next to me, Petra shifts in her seat, watching curiously as Ottilia copies my move, moving her stones from pocket to pocket.
So we have met Petra before. Did I just not remember? So sorry, Petra. Did we not really interact with you then?
Did someone teach you Mancala, child? Yeah, my mom did when I was younger. She loves the game. I see. Is she a good player? The best I know. I think I see the hint of a smile on Attilia's face, before she quickly moves to take one of my piles and deposit it in her own Mancala. Shit, I practically gave her those points on a silver platter. She must have had a good teacher then, I suppose. I think Grammy taught her. Then Mom said she was never able to defeat Grammy, so... She was quite the accomplished player, after all. What? I must be staring at her like a deer caught in headlights because Attilia immediately tuts. Stop gaping, child, or a fly will land in your mouth. You taught... I'm assuming you taught Grammy how to pay? I'm just more shocked. Do not say it in such a tone, child. I did not allow this sort of backtalk from your own grandmother, so you can be certain that I will not allow it from you either. Wait, how old are you even?
Oh. Oop, not the red in her eyes.
Suddenly, they're glowing so strongly, it immediately makes me think of blood. Shit, I forgot that just because some of them look human, it doesn't mean that they actually are. You know that it is impossibly rude to ask a woman her age, don't you? Even Petra gulps, and honestly, I have no idea how to respond to her question without further incriminating myself, so I simply nod. Hopefully this should convey my reticence to offend her better than anything else. I see. Very well, if you are aware. Then how old do you think I am? Oh, shit. Now I know I'm screwed. Oh, wow, look at that move. Yes, indeed. Do look at it. I believe it is the winning move of the game. Huh? Wait just a second. She beat me. I watched, absolutely baffled, as Attilia moves the last stones on her side of the board into the mancala, effectively closing the game. I barely even noticed her moving, too caught up in the confusion I felt while hearing about Grammy, and now I see that she absolutely destroyed me at that game. But that doesn't matter right now. There are more urgent matters. Wait, you're telling me you knew my grandmother? Of course, after all, does she not live in this village? All right, she's got a point there. Why didn't you tell me earlier then? What good would that have accomplished? I saw no point, given that I was not even sure if you would be staying here or not. And for that matter, I am uncertain even now. I open my mouth to try and argue further, but Ottilia holds up a hand to stop me before I even get a single syllable out. Nor did I find any sort of interest in discussing it earlier, and neither do I now. Now, let us proceed with the most enjoyable part. The counting. And just like that, Attilia is hunching over, slowly picking up and setting apart each stone while counting under her breath. I try to speak to her again, making more sense of her words, but she just shushes me in response. Now I have to start over again. Now I have to start over again, rolls eyes. Don't bother a woman. Don't bother anyone counting. Looking over at Petra, I see her avoiding my gaze as well. It seems that neither of them is all that interested in talking to me right now. So, we're gonna look for Dion. Shit, where did that guy disappear off to? It's not like the cottage is that big, so he should be relatively easy to find. I hope so, at least. I can't explain why, but I had this strange feeling in the pit of my stomach that I should be keeping an eye out for him tonight. Something about the way he behaved at the village meeting and the things he said before makes me wonder if that happy, charming persona is all there is to him, or if he actually has ulterior motives. Wait, now that I think about it, he did mention wanting to see the laptop upstairs. I climbed the stairs in a hurry. Back in the living room, I could still hear the radio singing along to Ade's tune. They're a surprisingly good singer. But that's not important right now. Reaching the first floor, I keep an ear out for any strange noises. However, it all seems quiet. Nothing out of the ordinary, just like I left it when I went down earlier. Well, except for the now open door to my bedroom. I knew it. My instincts were not wrong after all. All right, I knew there were a lot of eccentric characters in this place, but this is the cherry on top. I've never heard of someone being this oblivious to the rules of common sense. If he thinks he can get away with it too, well, he has another thing coming. Ade wanted me to have fun tonight, and I guess that includes telling a grown-ass man not to go into other people's rooms without permission now. Striding towards the door, I step inside and cast a glance around the room. Nothing. Everything is just as it was before, every paper in its place, and even the bed looks untouched. It's a bit hard to tell because the light is off, but the moonlight is strong enough for me to make out most of the things inside with relative ease. He's not here? I could have sworn he said he wanted to check the laptop out earlier. Maybe I was mistaken. Where else could he have gone, if not? Then I hear the door to the bathroom creak open. What are you doing in there? Dion steps out and spots me just before I can scramble to come up with a good excuse as to why I'm checking on him upstairs when he just came here for the bathroom, apparently. Because as things stand now, I pretty much look like I'm ready to accuse him of being a burglar. Not the best look for a host, for sure. Just say you were going to go to the bathroom. I can already hear Mom scolding me for making things incredibly awkward for these nice people who not only took my side during the whole meeting, but were also kind enough to welcome me in their homes, or their community, rather. And... Huh? What's that in his hands? Oh, blue. Is your tongue blue? Question mark. Oh, blue. Perfect. I was just about to look for you. Dion smiles at me, the first time he's ever done so, with his mouth wide open and his eyes sparkling a little bit. He's gorgeous, truth be told. Unbearingly so. So you're
siren question mark, if that's the term we're using. The kind of gorgeous I imagine sailors must have drowned over back in the past. And holy shit, does he have sharp teeth. In fact, they look more like shark fangs than teeth the more I look at them. Suddenly, I remember that I have no idea what kind of creatures most of these people really are, but that has to be momentarily forgotten in the face of his extreme beauty. I was wondering if I could borrow these for a few experiments. Goodness, even with those sharp teeth and in this very unflattering dark setting, he still manages to look amazing. Not even the silly sight of him carrying my shampoo bottle and a face cream is enough to diminish that. You know how hard it would be to replace those things, given that we're at this village and, we have to take a big, ferry ride over? I would not give those to you. Unless you're going to replace, them for me, I'm serious about my skincare. Wait, my shampoo bottle and face cream? I don't have a wide variety of samples when it comes to human cosmetics, so this is an exciting find. Yep, he's carrying my cosmetics all right. Not only that, but when I take a closer look, I see that his pants pockets are filled to the brim with all sorts of smaller flasks and tubes, which he most likely has swiped from my own bathroom. Ooh. I can't even see the bottom of my toothpaste poke out. What do you even need them for? Like I said, I would like to run a few experiments, as I have never seen these specific products before. It would be of great help to me if you agreed.
Listen, you can't just take people's belongings like that.
But even if they're for your experiments. That seems to shut him up. His mouth draws into a thin line as his face suddenly looks conflicted. There's a long silence before he finally sighs. His shoulders drop and he extends the shampoo bottle and face cream for me to take without saying anything. Finally, that he got the idea. Or maybe not. Huh? As soon as I grab the bottle and cream, I'm just so lost what's happening. He quickly retracts his hands. It wasn't really that obvious, but I could sense an undercurrent of hesitance as I moved closer. As if he was mentally planning the best way in which to avoid any contact with me. At least that's the best way I could explain it to myself. The whole experience was rather strange. Although it became less so once I realized that he was merely being cautious about not allowing me to block his path down the hallway. For now, he lets go of the bottle and cream, bypassing me in the tight enclosure, and begins to walk forward. I assume initially that it must be back to the party, and I will have to chase him to retrieve my toothpaste and everything else he has stuffed in his pockets. But that isn't so. Instead, he takes a left and pokes his head into my bedroom. Right now, I don't want to give a presentation about human customs. Also, that's a lot. I have so many questions. That damn bastard. He's more sly than I anticipated. Huffing, I stride over to him, but again before I have the chance to grab him, he steps further into the bedroom and out of my reach. Under any other circumstances, I would have merely seen this as some sort of failed attempt at a hookup. But as Dion moves around the room, I can tell he really means it when he says he wants me to play tour guide. Fine. Maybe that way he'll just leave and I can lock up this place so nobody else will wander in here anymore. I sigh, starting to get ready to explain to him some random facts about the room when he turns around. And just like that, my head goes empty. What? What's happening? Okay. Oh, okay. Well, I love the lighting for you. The way the moonlight frames his silhouette. Oh, it feels like a movie moment. Or it would be if I still wasn't holding onto the shampoo bottle and the cream. Coughing embarrassingly. Did I press auto? I placed them on top of the dresser, hoping I didn't look half as klutzy as I felt at that moment. If Dion noticed anything, he doesn't comment. Instead, his gaze is pointed directly at the suitcases I have stacked in the corner of the room. Fascinating. I have seen those around before, but I am quite curious. Do humans really own multiple of these and stuff them with all kinds of belongings? Well, yeah, that's what they're there for. I see. So in general, humans have more objects that they can carry around with them easily. I suppose that's where your reputation as greedy beings comes from. Whoa there. What the actual hell? This is the second time this guy has said something rude to me about being human, and he doesn't look sorry at all.
Listen, I have no idea where your ideas are coming from, but you're making a lot of snap judgments when it comes to humans, you know. Is that so? These are observations I made after a mere few months of research, so I suppose part of it might be faulty. As he says this, he pulls out the same notebook I saw him write in earlier. Taking a pen out of nowhere, I watch as he starts jotting something down. Would you be so kind, then, and explain how my observations might be flawed? I feel a migraine starting up again. This is not how I imagined a welcome party would be. In fact, this was the furthest thing from what I could ever have imagined. It's not like I even know what to tell him. How do I explain the essence of humanity in just a few sentences to a man who seems utterly fascinated by toothpaste and suitcases? I think the concept of the internet might actually break him. And I'm pretty sure Ade would not be happy with that at all. Nor would I derive much pleasure from it either, so maybe I should just avoid the whole ordeal altogether. Well, there's a lot of stuff to say, and I don't think a party is the best place for that. Nonsense, I'm sure the others wouldn't mind me keeping you here for a while longer. All right, I guess being subtle doesn't work with this guy. Besides, I don't get to interview humans as often as I would like to. Ade seems to disagree with my methods. At that, I perk my ears right up. Methods? What methods is he referring to? And what exactly are they if Ade doesn't agree with them? Also, how much trouble am I in now that I'm alone? How much trouble am I in now that I'm alone with him in my room? Great job, Blue. Guess those horror movies taught you nothing at all. Shit, should I book it out of here? Oh, please, don't run away. What the hell? Can he read minds now, too? I was merely joking. I forgot how human sense of humor isn't as developed. Doesn't matter how pretty or gorgeous or beautiful he might be. I'm not getting insulted in my own bedroom, true that. And especially not about my sense of humor. For the third time this night, I make a grab for him. I guess 3 was a lucky number, for as soon as I close in on him, he seems to freeze up. In fact, he's as stiff as a board when I grab his arm and tug him towards the door. Or at least, try to. Much like Ade, it turns out that he's much stronger than he lets on. I can't move an inch. Time to get out, pretty boy. I try to make my voice stern and commanding the way I remember my mom sounding when she would lecture me as a kid. But due to the grunts of effort, it doesn't come off as half as imposing. It doesn't really surprise me when he doesn't react. Holy shit, it's like trying to move a statue. Looking back at him, I give him my best glare in hopes that he gets the message. But from one look at his face, I realize I have a bigger problem. Rather than the mild amusement he's shown me thus far, the overwhelming curiosity I've now grown accustomed to, his expression at this very moment shows me something else. Oh? We're not supposed to call him pretty. Something more like anger. Ooh. It is anger, actually. He's furious and I'm touching him. His eyes are locked onto my hand, slightly widened. And it's as if he's surprised that I'm actually daring to touch him. Which is just rich, given that he's done nothing but completely disregard every single time I've asked him to leave. But now that I'm trying to make him do it, now he's about to lose his cool. Which is, I don't want to apologize. I'll let go. I don't know. I'll be nicer next time. I immediately retract my hand and take a step backwards. Whatever I might have unleashed just now, I don't want to stay around and find out. The fact that he's not moving at all makes me even more anxious. Shit. I fucked up somehow. I'll be going downstairs. I mumble, then quickly make my escape before he can react. Let him rifle among my belongings if he wants to. And I should remember not to touch him carelessly like that anymore, too. Maybe getting back to the party isn't a bad idea. Yeah, where did Hiroki go? Maybe he went home after. I don't know that much about the guy, except that he's part bird, I think. Loves human stuff and seems to have a perpetually bored expression on his face. Actually, could it be frustration? I really have no clue. Still, even if he's not the most approachable guy, I should be a good host and go talk to him for a bit. If I could find him, that is. He's not in the living room, that's for sure. I can still see Attilia and Petra hunched over the Mancala board while Ade is partying by themselves in the corner, fiddling every so often with the old radio they brought over. Chances are low he's upstairs. He's been here for at least 3 hours and hasn't stepped foot up there even once, so unless he suddenly got a massive boost in confidence, there's no point in checking there yet. Better look in the last 2 possible hiding places. The pantry and kitchen. Actually, just the kitchen. He's a grown man and the pantry would definitely be too small for him to fit in. Heading for the kitchen, I peek my head in and sure enough, he's there. And he's not alone. Much to my surprise, there are other few guests at my welcome party that I haven't been made aware of yet. The 2 little troublemakers who tried to break in and the guy from the pub. I mean, the kids can be here, I guess. The meeting place... Why are the kids here? The meeting at the pub made it pretty clear to me that the parents weren't all that enthused at the prospect of the kids hanging around Primrose Cottage, mostly because of me, which I thought was fair. I wouldn't be all that happy to have my children start playing with an adult stranger, but I also thought that would mean that they would keep them close to the village from now on, rather than let them wander into my house for a second time. That's an odd little quartet to stumble across, especially because none of them are in places where they really ought to be. Raga, who seems completely human this time, has taken over my kitchen table, filling it to the brim with all sorts of meat and vegetables, which he's cutting and sorting into platters. Oh, thanks. So far, he's finished 2 from what I could tell, and is working on his 3rd. That's a nice surprise. Honestly, amidst all the weirdness, it completely slipped my mind that the party should also have some food. Guess Ade took care of that. While that's all good and fine, Hiroki and the children do manage to pique my curiosity. Since they're all huddled around my fridge, I thought they would be helping Raga get the ingredients they need, but instead they seem far more concerned with my collection of magnets. All right now, who can tell me what this is meant to represent? A swan, goose, bird, seagull? He points to the magnet I had gotten from a friend who visited Turkey a year ago. It's a small stork, that's what it is, with orange legs made of string with dangling from its torso. What it had to do with Turkey, I wasn't sure, but he said he thought of me when he saw it, so I was content not to question it further at the time. All the kids are so cute. I can only see so much from the doorway, and while their profiles are surely portraying their inhuman appearance, normal children do not really have scales or wolf ears or tails after all, or at least the human ones. They don't look quite as strange as the first night we became acquainted. The boy, who I think is called Connor, raises his hand hesitantly. Is it a souvenir humans bring from other places they've been? Correct. Good job, Connor. Connor beams at the praise and quickly glances over at Raga. The girl, Nidhi, pouts, crossing her arms.
You only knew that because I told you.
Nidhi, no fighting. You both had a chance to answer. Connor was just faster this time. As usual, heh. Gosh.
What do you mean as usual? You're only fast when it comes to sports. In class, you're always in last place.
That's not true. I'm good at some things too.
Like what?
Connor mulls it over for a while, seemingly coming up with no answer. Not that it matters, as I suddenly hear Raga speak up from the kitchen table. Not bad, Connor, but I'm afraid Hiroki hasn't told you the full truth. What is that supposed to mean, Faye? Yikes, I'm not sure what the animosity between these two is about, but it's so thick I could slice it with a knife. It doesn't help that while Hiroki is glaring hard enough that I'm sure he could kill Raga if he wanted to, the other man hasn't taken his eyes off the table yet. In fact, he's acting like this whole thing doesn't even deserve his attention, even though he's the one that spoke up. Not being mischievous. That you're not quite the human expert you believe yourself to be. That seems to have stung. I can see the feathers on Hiroki's neck stand up all of a sudden, while his mouth sets in a firm line. And now you're going to tell me that you are. That's where this conversation is heading to, isn't it? You're supposed to be a teacher. Shouldn't you be more quick on the uptake, Hiroki? I am that. He sure does not sound very sure about that. I just wanted to make sure we're on the same lake. What? What the hell is that supposed to mean? My bad. Then I guess I misunderstood. He shrugs, a smirk tugging at the corners of his mouth that he quickly tries to hide with a cough. But I definitely noticed. That's because you're not paying attention, Raga. You should.
What does that mean? The stork magnet.
Nidhi, who's been quiet this whole time, suddenly speaks up, although Hiroki seems slightly taken aback that he's interrupted her. He does not scold her. Probably because, much like her and honestly me, he's curious what Raga was going to tell them. Oh, you're so curious about that, Nidhi.
That's why I'm asking.
Huh, that's fair. Well then, I guess I have no choice but to tell you what Hiroki left out. While it's true that humans often take magnets back home as souvenirs, storks carry a special significance in their culture. You see, many believe that storks are responsible for the arrival of human babies. Oh, he's just telling them that Stilly's children's story, which they completely seem to buy. Although Nidhi tries to hide her expression, I can see the glimmer of interest in her eyes. They're wide open, hungrily devouring whatever Raga is telling her, much like Connor, whose mouth is hanging open while his tail is wagging. That's so cool! So human babies are made by storks? An interesting belief, right? What do you think, Mr. Teacher? Hiroki looks torn, still glaring at Raga. He seems to weigh his response carefully, which is frankly bizarre. There's no way a grown man would believe something like that. Well, I suppose it wouldn't be out of the question. I take it back. Of course he would.
Wait, then if storks deliver babies, why do they give stork magnets as gifts?
No way. Do you think Miss Blue is expecting? What? A fertility ritual, perhaps. Who knows? She could be pregnant, or she could not be. Oh, but don't ask her about it. Why? What is that? What is that? What are you trying to hide? It's just rude to ask humans if they're pregnant. Wink. Ah. Alright, observing this little quartet might have been fun, but it's time to step in, before they come up with any more weird notions about me. I'm not pregnant. I'm not pregnant. Their eyes all snap towards me. Well, except for Raga, who was content to keep working on his little project. That's fine. It's not like I expected much of him anyways, given the last interaction we've had was at the pub where he was basically trying to incite the crowd against me. Hiroki recovers the quickest from the shock, clearing his throat and adopting a more straight position. Miss Blue, greetings. Hi, again. Again? So you've already seen each other today. And what if we had? Hiroki, don't you know that you only greet people the first time you meet them that day? No need to greet them again a second time. Or maybe your memory is going down the drain just like Odie's. Raga, you... His already hoarse voice seems to go an octave lower. I readied myself to tell him off. There are kids present here, after all, and I really don't need to give people more reason to think my house is unsafe. But before I can quickly do that, he shuts his mouth. It's not what he wants to do. I can tell as much by the way he scoffs in Raga's direction. But he still seems aware that this isn't the best move to make. That's good, because I have no idea if I could have gotten him to stop anyway. You really shouldn't pull people's fingers like that, Raga. Keep up the charade. It's not the right expression. It's not. No, it's actually pull people's legs. Legs? Yeah, because if you pull hard on someone's leg, it hurts, right? And it's uncomfortable, so you get annoyed. That's why we say don't pull my leg when we want people to stop provoking us. I see. Turning towards Raga, Hiroki gives a smirk of his own. Somehow he does not seem to catch the amused expression on the other man's face. I guess that there are some things you don't even know, Raga. Oh man, and here I thought my knowledge of human idioms was infallible. It's your hubris that'll be your downfall. As long as I land on something nice and soft. I'm starting to get why these two have such a strained relationship. Raga's in it. Hiroki, I mean, like, I guess if you don't know about humans, like, what are you supposed to know? I'm not sure what this guy's deal is, but all I've ever seen him do so far was find ways to subtly antagonize everyone around him. Sure, it's just harmless stuff, I guess, except that time he implied we eat children, but that still doesn't make it any less annoying. Hiroki scoffs. You keep joking, but this alone proves that it's unwise to trust you. And yet, you continue to believe me. That is because sometimes you seem to be telling the truth. Or, better yet, a half-truth. Half-truth is still true. That is not what that means. Okay, can you guys not fight in my kitchen, please? At least Hiroki has the good sense to look ashamed. I can't say the same about Raga, who instead chooses to send me an innocent smile as he gestures to the 3 plates of food on the table. I had no intention of letting you see us fight. I was just too busy preparing this smorgasbord for everyone at the party. You were doing both, but thank you. You were doing both? Impressive that he would try and lie to my face about it when I caught him red-handed. What can I say? I'm good at multitasking. Some might even say it's a curse. Some might even say that you're a curse. Hiroki mumbles, loud enough for everyone in the room to hear him. Surprisingly, Raga makes no comment this time, keeping his eyes on me instead. I hope that this platter of food is to your taste. I tried to add little bits of various flavor profiles to keep things interesting. Why does a sudden feeling of dread loom over me? Have you added a little surprise in by any chance, Raga? Ah, yes, that's it. I momentarily forgot how shady this man is. How can you say that, Hiroki? You know I would never mess with food meant for my dearest Oti. Yes, I suppose that is true at least.
You didn't add any sweets. Nidhi, Raga knows what he's doing. If he did, he would have added some sweets. I'm sure he will. I was just saying.
Children, don't fight. Much to my surprise, they do quiet down almost immediately. Nidhi is pouting, while Connor is fiddling with his tail, looking very much like the image of a kicked puppy, but neither child seems to mind the reprimand too much. Guess Hiroki is pretty good with children despite his old rebel without a cause look. I mean, I do love Hiroki's look. And I'm just like, wow, he's a teacher, but look how awesome he looks also. We love the juxtaposition. He turns to me, straight as a rod, and continues speaking. I apologize for the ruckus. I was trying to teach the children more about human culture. Human culture? Hiroki seems to be excited at the thought. Yes, as part of the school program, we have decided to implement a few courses on how to navigate the human world and blend in. Since this represented a wonderful opportunity, I've asked the children to accompany me on a small field trip. But it seems that only Connor and Nidhi's parents agreed to it. I'm actually shocked that their parents agreed to it. By the fleeting guilty looks on their faces, I get the feeling that their parents didn't as much agree to it as they simply don't know about this impromptu field trip. Okay, that's what this is. This basically makes it the second time these two have snuck into my house. Great. How open-minded they have become in these past few days. Unfortunately, Hiroki does not seem to be aware of Raga's sarcasm. Indeed, but it's a very good sign that they've agreed. It means more people are considering the advantages of Miss Blue's presence here. Advantages? Indeed. We can now have a real-life expert talk to us about customs and traditions pertaining to humans. This will be a great learning opportunity for the children. And for some adults, from the looks of it. So, he was not kidding when he said that I would be a lecturer here. Could I do that? Yeah, I get that Hiroki's excited about this opportunity, but I'm not. I have no training in education or child development, first of all. Then there's also the problem that I'm out of the loop when it comes to these people's knowledge regarding humans. How much do they know? How much don't they? Apparently Mancala is a thing, and they also know what pubs are, though I suppose every culture would have something like that. Ade was aware of laptops, while Dion was clueless about the name. Raga's familiar with idioms, and the purpose of magnets is apparently a school-worthy discussion. Not the best sample pool when it comes to figuring out these sort of scholastic matters. Also, I'm definitely not the best choice when it comes to teaching these things either. What if I actually start some human nightfolk war by saying the wrong thing? Or give them the wrong kind of information, which could lead down to more misunderstandings? Yeah, I'd rather not have that kind of responsibility. Luckily, as if hearing my distress, Ade materializes behind me, saving me yet again from the throes of another horribly awkward conversation. There you are. I've been searching everywhere for you. Surprisingly, this isn't aimed at me this time. Instead, they're looking straight at Hiroki, who is seemingly just as lost as I am. Did you bring the thing? As if on cue, Hiroki snaps into action, quickly making his way to the back door as the children and I watch him with identically confused expressions. Well, mine had just persisted, so is mostly the children who are now looking curious. Raga, as I notice, is leaning against the kitchen counter with a slight smirk on his face.
Oh, Raga, you prepared the food. Good job.
You know, I aim to please, Ade. Does he now? Hardly knows that at all.
Before anyone could say anything else, Hiroki returns, holding his hands behind his back. Although it looks like he's trying not to give it away, it's more than clear that he's holding a gift bag behind his back.
Surprise! We got you something as a housewarming gift. Raga said that it's a traditional thing humans do when they move to a new residence.
Alright, so they do know about housewarming gifts and gift bags. We'll put that down in the memory bank. That's really nice, thank you. Ade grins, clearly pleased as punch about my reaction. Truth be told, it is a really nice thought to get me something after the fiasco from a few nights before. Although Raga's shit-eating grin isn't quite the reaction I want to see right now. What is the gift? Whereas he seemed content to merely observe until now, suddenly he's paying extra close attention to me as if waiting for something to happen.
It was surprisingly hard to get our hands on it, but I'm so glad we managed to. Right, Raga?
I had to go a long way to get it. Oh, no, that's not what I want to hear.
Let's go to the living room so you can open it in front of everyone.
Maybe we should. Ade, I think you forgot something.
I did? What is it?
Don't you remember when I told you that sometimes humans like to do a pre-opening ritual before they get to show it off?
Ade's mouth quirks into a perfect O shape. They nod over at Raga before turning to me, expression melting into an apologetic one.
Sorry, Blue. I completely forgot you guys had that ritual.
What ritual? What I wouldn't give to know what Ade is talking about. Sure, I could ask, but I'm also not too keen about opening this thing in front of everyone else before I know exactly what it is. Whatever helps me delay that is a welcome distraction. Not if I can only figure out a way to play into it.
That's okay, Ade. I can just do it here.
Is it all right if we watch?
Sure. Fantastic. This will be a great learning opportunity for the children as well.
Oh, then I'll call everyone over.
Ade, maybe Miss Human would feel better if there were less people around. Oh, Raga, I could kiss you right now, you shady, shifty guardian angel. Or devil. Because I doubt your sudden act of kindness is in any way for my benefit, but to avoid this awkwardness, I'll take even this.
Oh, that's a good point, Raga. Then we'll all keep quiet as you perform the ritual, Blue.
They motion to Hiroki, who hands me the bag with an almost respectful air. Aw, cute. They didn't bother to staple the top, but the way Hiroki is holding it makes it difficult to see anything inside. Shit, guess I'll have to be sneaky about this. As soon as he sees the gift safely in my hands, he takes a few steps back, falling into line with Ade and the kids who've come closer. Great, because all I wanted was 5 pairs of eyes, excluding those of Ade's many snakes, watching me do this ritual. Wait, this is a chance. Now that I think about it, isn't this the perfect way to my dilemma? Instead of worrying about my reaction when I have to open this thing in front of everyone, maybe I can just take a little peek now and plan it beforehand. No chance of starting an interspecies war this way. Or at least I hope not. Glancing over the huddle that is Ade, Hiroki, Nidhi, and Connor, I give them a brief smile before leaning over and pretending to blow over the present. When I have a quick look inside, I see... Oh. It's glass cleaner. They got me glass cleaner as a housewarming present. It's not a book made of human skin. That's good. Also weird, but mostly good. Oops, I think Miss Human just took a little sneak peek here. Raga, you bastard! Now I completely understand why Hiroki's so aggressive towards this guy. I want to wring his neck as well.
What? Blue, you looked inside?
Crap, I can't stand Ade looking at me like that. It's like I kicked a puppy right in front of them. Which I practically did because Connor's right there and he looks disappointed too. It's part of the ritual. She blinks, or they blink. I'm not sure if they're actually buying it, but it's my best line of defense right now. Might as well commit to the bit. Yeah, so before we open a present, we like to take a sneak peek inside to, boost our mood. Silence. The four of them exchanged glances between them before all looking in Raga's direction at once. Well, I'm screwed. Blue can just open again in living room with everyone, can't she? Yes, Raga's turned into my savior once again, after just feeding me to the one little wolf I know. I can't stand the guy, but when he pulls through, he pulls through. That's a great idea. This way I can, prepare a little speech on how grateful you are for the present, right? Right. Also inform us of the value of such a practical and useful gift it brings into a human's life. Sure. And maybe a demonstration. Yeah. I'll demonstrate your... What a great idea. Indeed, I would love a demonstration in human cleaning habits. We could compare it to our own.
I want to show the bottle to Mr. Dion.
Among the flurry of responses, I'm left speechless as Nidhi runs over to grab the bag out of my hands. Then she takes off into the living room, chased by Ade and Hiroki. Kanar, suddenly aware that he's been left behind, glances between me and Raga before blushing beet red and leaving the kitchen as well. Almost on cue, Raga starts to laugh quietly behind his hand as if he had been waiting for that very opportunity. You ass. I whip around so fast I almost become dizzy. Not that it matters to this asshole. He's too busy snickering while sending me a smirk. Huh. Oh, are you making a pass at me? I'm going to kill him. I'm going to straight up kill him. How could one single man be so horribly infuriating? I can't believe you keep playing these mind games with everyone and they fall for it. Hell, I can't believe I fell for it. Come on now, what's so wrong with having a little bit of fun? For you, maybe. Did you think I was referring to anyone else? So he doesn't give a crap who he annoys. Great. Noted. Whatever. I don't have time for this jerk anyway. There's still a party going on where I'm supposed to show everyone how we use glass cleaner. Thanks to this guy. Wait, are you actually mad at me? Aren't I supposed to be? No. I would rather you find me alluring and cunning instead. I think that fits my image more. What image? Of a charming and dangerous fey prince, of course. I stare at him in disbelief. He already came off as a narcissist, but this is too much. Sure, he's attractive, but it does him little good when he's being such an arrogant ass about it. I will say, I mean, like, it'll be interesting how the character develops and our interactions with the character develops in the future. But, like, this is my point. Some people don't get it. I mean, actually, no. A lot of, like, men that I know, particularly men who are, like, you know, cis men who are, like, into women, I feel like these discussions where it's like, so you can turn off the part of your brain where you're like, yeah, that person's not attractive because of personality or other reasons, but mostly because of personality, because it sucks. And it was like, I mean, you know, I was talking about, it's like, yeah, I can turn that part of my brain off and be like, like, it contributes. It's a whole picture, you know? I mean, I agree that he's, like, this character is attractive, but, like, I'm obviously, like, because of how he's acting, I'm like, you're not my favorite. Like, you're definitely not someone I would, like, really want to spend time with, to be honest. But I would for the game, but, you know, whatever. I'm sure I would be surprised at some point. Also, I feel like the music's loud, so we're gonna turn that down. But he's so arrogant, and we hate that. I don't like that. In fact, it really detracts from it. Exactly. But will I flirt anyways? If I'm given the chance to flirt, I'll do it. What image? Blah, blah, blah. And what would that look like? And what would that look like? I expect him to toss another reply my way, but he doesn't. Instead, it gets quiet. At least as quiet as it can be when there's a party in the next room. Still, the whole mood seems to shift thanks to that. I'm suddenly far more aware how small the kitchen really is, and the fact that he's looking at me in a way I haven't been looked at all night so far. Like prey. It bothers me how aware I am of his eyes. His human eyes at that. Because I know what he really is, and yet when he wears this skin, I completely forget about the time I saw him a few days before. Would you like me to? What? Would I like you to what? Look more like a fey prince? Or would that scare you? I'm unsure how to answer. Unsure whether to even answer. Sure, he's coming off as a little threatening right now, but he'd be insane to try anything when there are so many people around, right? It's not like he's going to lunge at me, is he? Oh, he's moving closer. Ooh. You humans do have some strange beliefs about us night folk, you know. Well, most of them you made up, so can't blame you for it. But still, there are some nice preconceptions too. After all, I do appreciate being called cute and pretty. Helps dispel all those ugly rumors about us that you spread back in earlier times. I'm scared. There's not much room to maneuver inside the kitchen, so we end up squished against the kitchen table. Me more so than him. The small of my back is pressed tight against the wood, my hands gripping onto the edges so I don't fall over. His presence is overwhelming. Nothing like the light, airy thing it was before. It's as if a storm has come bearing down on me. Oh, Raga stops just short of touching me, a smirk ever present, while his eyes have taken on that appearance from back at the pub. Now I'm starting to see more of the guy I met that first night. Though I have to admit, I did find it a little bit hurtful that you would erase all of our lovely features just like that. Butterfly wings, dainty features, figures. That's nice and all. But don't you think this looks just as fetching? Maybe even better. I blink, and it seems like before my eyes, another man takes his place. Of something which could be considered man. I'm not sure anymore. All I can focus are on his eyes, hypnotic in their strangeness. I think I get why they're called the fair folk now. There's something beautiful in that danger. Oh, I didn't think we were going to get the illustration. Whoa, those eyes are crazy. What's it going to be? Oh, wait. Darkness. What's the verdict going to be then? Darkness? Question mark? Also, oh, that's the end. Okay. That's kind of scary because we don't really know what happens at the end of the party. But I guess maybe someone comes. I'm hoping Ade comes back and finds us. That's interesting. I will say that I'm really curious about all the characters. And I'm assuming that our character, Blue, is going to keep living in Shroudfall Cove. I couldn't even process it because those like close-ups like are just like automatic. Which is like fine. Oh, that's nice though. We get to see like a bit more of like their night folk features here. That's really awesome for everyone. Great. Oh my gosh. I'm really enjoying this game. Rather, I've enjoyed the demo and I'm really looking forward to the full game. There's like lots of mysterious aspects to living in Shroudfall Cove to explore and all the people around it, but I think we'd do just fine. And I'm glad that I got to check it out, and hopefully you also have enjoyed watching the demo. If you like, tell me who you're most interested in as just a character in general, or what aspects of the story do you like so far. I'd be curious to know. The kids are so cute. I'm sure we'll see more of them in the future. It's so funny that they keep sneaking off to like learn about humans and stuff. They're just so curious. So sorry to the parents, but we're fine. We're doing okay. I like Hiroki also. I like that he's kind of like, it makes sense that he's gullible, but it's more like, how would he know about different species if you just don't know? Like, how I wouldn't know. I would know nothing. I could appreciate Otilia also. She's like super badass. I'm curious about what her relationship was like with our grandmother, our character's grandmother, etc. And also I want to know more about like our character's mom. Like, so if
but wouldn't she have like visited Shroudfall Cove at some point, or she just never did? And will we know more about Grandma? I have no idea. Dion's interesting, but I'm always just like, oh my god. Just if ever the, you know, scientist exploring and examining and looking at things. So funny. Ade's so great. I love Ade's like personality and like energy. They're so fun. And it's so cool that we got to see like the snakes like their different form this time around. So that's really cool. And then Petra I don't really know much about, but I'm sure we'll learn more about her in the future, or them in the future. So that's also great. But anyways, thank you so much for watching the demo of Shroudfall Cove. I highly recommend you know, looking out for the full game in the future, and also playing the demo for yourself if you want to relive some of the story. And if not, you can always watch my playthrough of it. But you know, I think it's always fun to go and do it yourself whenever you get the chance. The art is absolutely stunning, and I really do like the music as well. So yeah, a lot of these features of the game I'm just like really excited about. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, please leave a like. And if you'd like to see other playthroughs of visual novels on my channel, then please feel free to subscribe. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!